Hey, I'm Tom. It is July 11th, 2025, and I am 49 years and 28 days old. I started playing guitar when I was around 9, I think. My dad bought me an electric guitar, which is a very strange decision. And I started taking lessons, and I didn't like guitar lessons. And so I just stopped when we moved from Montreal to Vancouver. And then, as it was very common in the early 90s, thank you, Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Soundgarden, lots of people in the Pacific Northwest started to play guitar. And so I picked it up again. And for that reason, um, that scene from Barbie is particularly painful for me. But also, um, there's a there used to be this website called The Toast, and one of the writers there, Daniel Ortberg, would look at old paintings and then imagine captions for them. And one of the captions was for a painting of some women who were lounging around outside, and a gentleman approaching them carrying a lute. And the caption is basically just, "Oh no, he found us with his guitar." Um, yeah. In any event, I have basically kept playing guitar in some fashion for the next 30 years, but I've never improved beyond pretty much the way I played it uh, back in those heady days of the early 90s. And something that I noticed a little while ago, but recently was talking to somebody I work with about, was that no matter what the song is, I strum it exactly the same way. In other words, I only have like one strumming pattern. It took me a while before I even realized there were strumming patterns and that songs have strumming patterns, um, and that you could strum differently. Basically, I strum everything I play. If you could imagine an, a, a strummed chord version of Sweet Home Alabama, that's the rhythm that I seem to play every song with. And I mean every song. Uh, it could be Hotel California. It could be um, exit music for a film by Radiohead. Doesn't matter. I strum it exactly the same way. Different tempo, but exactly the same way. And in a recent conversation, someone said, "Well, why don't you just, they were suggesting songs, they were suggesting ways that I could improve my strumming." And absolutely, if you're the kind of person that can dedicate themselves to something and work on becoming better, and you want to, of course, you absolutely should. But while we were talking, I realized I kind of like that I play every song exactly the same. Like, weirdly, I kind of like that I've never gotten any better at guitar. Would I like to be better at guitar? If I could just be better, of course. But knowing what it would take and how I would have to dedicate myself, I clearly don't want to. Even if I apply my would you have wanted to have done that um, mental model, I don't think I will have wanted to have gotten better at guitar. I'm quite happy to just play guitar in this very individual way. Like, probably completely individual. I have a hard time imagining anyone else picking up guitar and then only playing every song with the same strumming pattern. And even if they do that, it wouldn't be this strumming pattern. So, yeah, that got me thinking about why we do things, which I think about that all the time. But more to the point, like there's a there is like a space between starting something and being really good at that is difficult for people. If you look up Ira Glass, being creative, there's a whole thing. about when your tastes outstrip your skills and why that's why a lot of people stop. I also, though, think a lot of people stop because we've forgotten or we never knew, probably forgotten some childhood thing, how to just do something without being particularly good at it. Like enjoy doing something without being, not without having mastered it. Or just enjoying doing something just the way you do it and not really caring about, well, certainly optimizing it, which is a loaded term that I use deliberately here because I think once you start saying optimize, people are like, oh, yeah, I guess we don't need to optimize every hobby. But I really do think that like there's something about that. I've had the same guitar. My dad got me another guitar when I turned 18. Dreams die hard for my dad. And I've had the same guitar for 30 years. This guitar here. And I play it the same way. And it makes me happy. I like every so often just picking it up and playing a song that I know how to play in my way. So it just sounds like someone covering Sweet Home Alabama, but to the melody of whatever song they're actually playing. And it brings me a lot of joy. And I think thinking about it now, a lot of my approach to different things follows the same sort of pattern. It's not that I don't want to get better at things, but I do seem to be able to gain a certain amount of proficiency, and then I do stop. And people call that plateau, and it's a very real phenomenon. It's happening basically with me in climbing now. There's all kinds of things that I've started learning about and have hit some kind of plateau. And yes, to get past the plateau, you do have to do certain things. But I really do question whether it's such a bad thing to reach that plateau. And as long as you're still enjoying yourself, just enjoy yourself. I kind of feel like there's a huge benefit to being able to do that rather than stop doing it entirely, or if you don't have it in your heart, kind of punish yourself through it. And again, yes, of course, mastery and proficiency are wonderful things, and it's great if you can do that. And I love seeing people being really good at things and knowing what it cost and how much they had to dedicate to becoming that good. But I do think there's like a lot of value in just being able to enjoy the level that you do something and keep enjoying it. Like almost as if it's like in defiance of the kind of quick hit dopamine injection reality we live in, to be like, I'm never going to get any better than this, and it's still so good. That kind of long tail joy, I guess, feels really important right now.